I'm
Um,
pretty sure I'm still Princess carrying Abel, so I'm gonna turn towards the figure and move towards them with this hopeful look in my eyes and also confusion. It's like, who are you? You can help them?
and Sam, I was wondering if I knew anything about a diamond and a scroll and what that meant.
Uh, I'll say for that.
'Cause
I'll,
I don't know if that's like common knowledge in.
no, I got I got you. Go ahead and roll me Arcana check.
Okay. Oh.
No idea.
Oh.
No idea what that could mean. So Cora, as you ask who the individual is, you hear what sounds like a a weird monotone voice that comes through, and it seems to have weird, like, kind of mechanical, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of synthetic voice that comes in, and you hear it say, "Individuals identified, able, Akora, individuals weakened." And then you see the figure hits the side of his head, hitting the white porcelain face, and hits it a little bit and shakes their head, and then looks back at you and goes. You hear it in a less synthetic voice. It seems to be very muffled underneath the what seems to be the porcelain mask, and you hear they go, choose.
Choose?
And
I,
mhm.
Um,
I am going to kind of hop out of Akora's arms here and kind of approach a little bit more. Based off of like what I know of Maze and how the Raven Queen is, would I be able to assume that this might be related to the Raven Queen?
I'll say if you're looking for something like that, I'll say make a religion check.
Okay.
All right. Based off your past and based on how you grew up, you know the Raven Queen. You know who the Raven Queen is. You know she's the goddess of death, and the matron of ravens, and you know she kind of helps ushers new souls to the afterlife, and uh, your connection with Maze, you do know that Maze has a strong belief with the Raven Queen, but this individual right here, it's you can see the similarities. You can tell that there has to be some connection, although you don't recall ever hearing the Raven Queen ever being betrayed like this. Usually, not with a white raven mask. It's usually she gets depicted as a a tall, slender woman with a normal white porcelain mask, like a kind of like a blank face.
Okay.
what should we do, Abel?
I do not understand. Choose. Choose what? Uh, what are you asking us to choose?
You see the figure kind of opens up the scroll and holds it out to you, and you see near the top, you see the scroll has arcane sigils in it. So that does help identify that this is a spell scroll. And you hear that same kind of muffled voice. You hear, choose who to revive.
You can bring one of them back.
I was thinking about bringing one person. Wasn't Lara the healer?
Yes, if Zalaria has the components, maybe she can. And he like cast a glance at Maze and Menta.
And even now, we can. If she doesn't have them now, we can even just go get them. Because that bitch had so much shit on her.
If we choose to bring someone back, what that mean?
What would the price for it be?
You see the figure just turn their heads towards you before looking down at all three party members who are still laid to rest. You see her. You see they. Excuse me. And they look at the three figures and go, favor.
At this point, I'll look at Abel and just go, I will, considering them a lot of this was, I would gladly do anything to help them.
What sort of favor are you asking for?
Smart for asking.
Favors to come.
Favors yet to be seen.
Favors to come.
Can I roll an insight check to see if this person or this being is truthful?
I also want to do that.
Okay,
Or
so
something to see.
sure. But you're gonna be rolling with disadvantage, and though due to the mask.
I'm probably not gonna do too great.
Ow.
Damn.
19.
Okay.
I rolled 2 ones.
God, damn,
my
Abel,
gosh.
you got a +10 to your insight. Jesus
Does
Christ.
that mean, wait, does
What?
that mean that I rolled in at 20 the last time? Am I...
God damn. Okay. What you got? So Abel, it's kind of hard to read the mask since it's covering their face, and they don't seem to be making any kind of indication on whether they're lying or not. Akora, as you're kind of looking over at their body language, trying to see if you can tell if they're talking, if they're telling the truth or not, it's kind of hard to tell with the mask covering on their face, but you'd see that they're perfectly calm. They don't seem to be moving that much. They don't seem to be twitching or like a muscle spasm or anything like that. They just seem perfectly still. So, based on 19, you can more or less believe that they are telling the truth.
I do believe they are truthful, Abel. So I suppose that it will just have to be seen. Whatever this favors, I would gladly be the help take care of it.
I am afraid of contracts.
Well, then let me be the one to bind it. It will be on my head, as was their deaths.
It is more than their death that I am afraid of. It is what the favor entails regarding their new life afterwards.
have to find out, because I don't...
I
The
do
luck
not
won't dwell on this.
do not get me wrong. I want him back, but you are willing, I will assist you in this endeavor, in this favor, whatever it means.
I will owe you a life debt.
That said, should we go with Zolaria?
Zolaria.
So, mhm.
I suppose we'll look at the figure and point at Laurie.
You see the figure look over to Larry's body and nod their head and begin going over to Larry's dead body and kneel down. And you see the figure holds up a very like a good sized diamond. Like it's a very big diamond, and puts it on top of Laurie's chest and holds up the spell scroll, and you see the spell scroll begins glowing a vibrant yellow color that begins to emit from the scroll, and you see the diamond soon begins to just melt and begins covering Laurie's body, and you see the figure begins just holding perfectly still and not moving at all. And then you see what looks like a blue arcane energy seems to come off the figure and and go into the spell scroll itself. Larry, as where we left off with you, as you're kind of you just broke the surface of the black tar that you gotten used to, and you see this individual is coming towards you. This weird shadowy individual that's reaching over towards you, and you see the figure is slowly pressing through. It looks like 3 fingers made of shadows against your forehead, and you hear amongst all the screaming that's going on in your head, like all the screamings you're hearing all around you that are saying your name, you then hear all the screaming suddenly go silent, and you hear what sounds like a warped voice begins coming into your mind, and you begin to hear listen, and it just keeps warping and warping and warping. Abel and Cora, as you're watching this, you then hear a synthetic voice kicks in, and you hear the synthetic voice coming from the individual that says, "Foreign material detected. Must retract foreign material." And you see the figure puts down the scroll on Laurie's body, and then grabs her, like puts her hand, their hand on Laurie's head, and you see that they, as they grab their head, Laurie's head, you see that Laurie's head begins glowing, and you see what looks to be black, like a black mist begins coming out of Laurie's head and coming out of Laurie's ears, and then out of her mouth and nostrils, and seemingly attaching, the black mist seems to be attaching itself to the figure's hand and begins going up their arm. And you see the figure begins to shake violently as they're holding Laurie's head. And Laurie, on your end, you see that the figure, as more warping is going on, you see the figure begins suddenly stops and pulls their hand away, and then tilts their head at you, Laurie, and goes. You hear the warping suddenly stops, and you hear a clear voice go, "Laurie, I will remember you. Farewell for now. And you are seen." Before the figure seems to dissolve.
That's fucking ominous.
And back with Abel and Cora, you see the figure pulls back their hand as the black mist seems to stop coming from Laurie's head, and you see that they shake their hand like it's in pain, and begins like clenching and unclenching their hand, and then shakes their head before picking up the spell scroll and resuming. And you see the spell seems to be taking more and more effect, going into Laurie's body as the diamond completely coats Laurie's body. And Laurie, as you're kind of just floating there, looking up at this now empty sky that's above you, you don't see the moon at all. The one thing that's always been there, and you just kind of just float there on top of this liquid, and you then see what seems to be a hand seems to be reaching out to you. What do you do, Laurie?
Can I move? Or like,
Yeah, you can move.
I think I'll just kind of slowly reach towards the hand.
Okay. As you slowly begin reaching towards the hand, you see the hand keeps reaching out to you, and then you see some white feathers begins coming from the hand, like it's ascending from this opening that's coming from that's been open in the sky. And then you see what looks to be a white bird, a white raven's mask that seems to be poking into your realm and looking directly at you, still reaching for you. Do you still reach for them?
Yeah, I think so. I think she assumes that she's like. She still assumes that she's like dying, but she assumes that she's kind of like going into the afterlife, so.
Okay. And as you reach for the figure and then grasp on their hand, the hand begins pulling you out of the liquid, and suddenly, in this beautiful golden light that's covering Laurie's body, right before everyone's eyes, you see the diamond that's been melting and coaxing Laurie's body begins going into Laurie's body, and all the burns and cuts that Laurie has sustained all heal up as Laurie has come back to life. And Laurie, you just just cough up a little bit of blood, and you are no longer dead.
Laurie.
I don't understand what happened.
I'm rushing over to her and I'm just gonna hug her. Gently hug.
He was like kind of open mouth here, just in shock.
Like, the gods are
before-
back.
Yeah, and it takes a moment before he rushes over as well and kind of like kneels down and he's gonna try and give Laurie a little hug.
That's how he can.
Okay.
Is that figure still there?
Yeah, the figure's still there, but you see that the figure kind of stood up and gave y'all some distance. But you see the figure then looks over at Maze's dead body and begins walking over towards Maze.
I'll just say thank you and then just look Laurie over as she's coming to.
Are you okay, Zelaria?
How? I don't get it.
We are not quite certain either. This being has presented itself here, and before we knew what to do, that could bring one of you back.
The others, I need. I can bring them back, but I don't have what I need.
We can get some. We can get whatever is needed.
You see the figure kneels down in front of Maze, and as soon as you, Laurie, as soon as you say that you can bring the bag, you see the figure turns their head over towards you, and then slowly shakes their head.
No?
No? What do you mean?
You hear the muffled voice comes in and go, "You are not strong enough. You don't have the spell." And you see she holds up the scroll that she was using. Seems to have withered. Seems to be slowly withering away. And then you see the figure like toss it to the side as it fully crumbles to dust and just goes to ashes into the wind. And you see the figure looks down at Maze and goes, "The spell I use was resurrection."
What? Well, you can help them like you helped me.
No.
Why not?
I was only given one.
Can we get more? There has to be more.
With these two, there are 2 ways you can try to bring them back.
How?
The first way is with the temples. You can ask one of the clerics there to see if they can bring back your friends. Although, right now, the temples are in a little bit of chaos at the moment.
Damn. What was the other method? Which I'm assuming will be harder.
Not necessarily, but it would bind them closer to her. And you see the figure looks over to you, Laurie, and goes, "Now that you're free from her influence, what do you really think of the Black Empress?" And what happened?
That's what I think.
I'm leaving.
I don't know.
You see the figure looks back down at Maze and Menta and go, "Bring these 2 back to the Black Empress. she can help force them back.
Shouldn't they want to come back?
I do not like that phrase, push them back. I also am not inclined to bring them back to the Black Empress.
Oh. That's not how it works. Usually a soul has to be willing to come back. Forcing them seems almost cruel.
Is that what happened to you?
I'm not sure.
No. I gave you a chance to come back. You were the one that reached for me. It was completely up to you whether you would accept it or not. What the four of you have done to yourselves is bind yourselves to the Black Empress. Not that strongly, admittedly, but she can still have more of a influence on whether you truly stay dead.
Where's the Black Empress?
Not you, Akora. You haven't bind yourself with her. That is your choice to make, whether you should or not. The other four have, because they agreed with her ideals and have gained benefits from that pact. However, these two, if they were to be brought back by the Black Empress, they would be more bonded with her and more tied to her. Now, since they can't give a proper response whether they will agree to that or not, that is up for you three to decide whether you think that is worth the cost.
May we unbind ourselves to the Black Empress.
You hear the figure give out a chuckle and go, if only such things were that easy.
There's always a catch.
The four of you have binded yourselves to the Black Empress willingly, I might add. So you four agreed to it. Agreed to be by her side. Be in her faction. If I'm understanding correctly, you four are heading on your first mission for the Black Empress herself. Am I correct?
You are?
If you prove yourselves more worthy and more useful to her, she will give you even more power and more capabilities to extend your life, to be more useful to her and her ideals.
I see. In the meantime, what of the temple here? Is there any more knowledge that we could gain on that?
The temple is in chaos right now due to the entity you five have disturbed yesterday. That entity was not supposed to wake up yet.
Oh god.
Was it not awake when we found it?
No, it was not.
Well, shit.
And that's why it attached itself to you. Attached itself to these two. And points at Laurie, then points at Maze. And you see the figure the figure who's looking down at Maze. You hear a synthetic voice kicks in, and you hear it go, "Foreign knowledge detected. Foreign knowledge must be extracted." And then you hear the muffled voice comes in and go, "Maze is not ready for this kind of knowledge. Her mind would snap with the feedback. So I shall take it." And you see the figure begins holding out their hand, but you see that they during this whole entire time they were wearing gloves, but you see the figure pulls off their glove and shows a porcelain. It looks like a porcelain doll's hand, and leans down and places 3 fingers on Mace's forehead, and you see black leatherings begin coming out of Mace's head and begin attaching themselves to the porcelain hand, and begins crawling up up their arm, going to the porcelain raven's mask. And you see the figure begins shaking violently. And you see once the black leatherings have stopped coming out of Maze's head, you see the figure violently jerks back their hand, and you see their porcelain hand seem to just be twitching very violently, like they're having a muscle spasm in their hand. And you see the figure looks at their hand and goes, I can't touch you very long.
Oh, jeez.
You see the individual look, and then stands up and looks over at the 3 of y'all and go, "However you want to bring your friends back, do it with haste. Because if you don't, then their souls might be lost in the sea of consciousness."
Understood.
I would check the temples to see if they can help. Although I have my doubts.
Surely there has to be something that can be done.
They might be too busy for adventurers to try to come back.
Oh, I'm sure we can offer them some help, as adventurers are wont to do. But what is your name? Or what can we call you?
You 3 already know my name.
Sharks.
You 3 know me. You 3 have known me since the very beginning. I saw all 3 of you when you were born. I saw all 3 of you when you died. I saw all 3 of you when you were... Oh. No, that's not right. Excuse me. I may have disturbed something. I have to go now. And you see the
Thank you for your help anyway.
we will see how thankful you are in the times to come. For now, you three need some help. Go find them. Perhaps they will assist. Who knows? And you see the figure begins walking to the door, and you then see the figure begins sprinting full speed and jumps on one of the altars and then bounces off the altar. And in mid-air, you see that they seem to condense on themselves to make a white raven that flies through the air and then out the door.
Fascinating. Oh, Laurie. Okay, Professor McGonagall. Laurie, I'm gonna reach into my bag immediately and pull out her orb and hand it back to her.
Thank you.
Quickly. See, I told you I'd get her back, Steve. I had to make a promise to him before they let you go.
Thank you.
Of course.
Laurie, as you grab hold of the orb, to in front of everybody, you see the orbs cracks a little bit, like a huge crack goes down the center of the orb, and you see this black tar substance begins leaking out of the crack, and you see it seems to form a hand and latches onto Laurie's wrist and begins digging itself into Laurie's wrist. Like, physically. Like, it's drawing blood by this point.
Oh, God.
Going deep into Laurie's skin. And Laurie, it does hurt. Like, you wince at the pain as you can feel this black tar substance seems to be going through your entire body. It feels like it's coursing through your veins. And you feel the familiar presence of your dragon spirit take hold of you. And before Abel and Cora's eyes, you see Laurie's whole body stiffens up and her eyes go wide. As you see, she kind of twitches a little bit, and you see the form that Laurie took when her dragon took over, with the black tar hair and the 3 sets of eyes. You see that they begin warping, like they seem to be trying to force themselves to come out before returning back to Laurie's normal form. And you see Laurie her arm begins shaking where the black tar is going into her arm, and y'all can physically see the black tar like underneath her skin, like it's bulging in odd places as it's going through her entire body. And Laurie, you feel the latch, like the clinging onto you, like the suffocating force of your dragon spirit wrapping itself tightly around you.
Laurie,
What?
are you sure you would like this to continue?
I made a promise, and I intend to keep it.
I think that the fact I was able to reason with them to let her go is enough for me to trust them. So long as she upholds hers, I will stand by her side.
Akora, can you... The bow that...
What about it? I have it slung on my back.
May I have a look at it to see if there are any features of? I remember there being some etchings on it. May I have a look
Yeah.
at it?
Yeah, I'll show it off to him.
So as you sling the bow off and begin showing it to Abel, Larry, over in your situation, you feel the tension begins to die down in your body and in your head. You feel like the latching on seems to ease out, and you feel your body like returning to normal. But you see you see the hand that's holding the orb has shifted. It has turned into a insect-like hand. Like there's carapace on the back of your hand and going up your fingers, and you see that you have these thin claws on your fingers, and you have a vice grip on the orb.
I'm gonna try to talk to Steve, and I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna say in my head, I'm not going anywhere. It's all right.
You hear a series of clicking noise that enters your head, and then a snarl, and then a hiss seems to just reverberate through your head. But other than that, no response. Over to Abel and Cora. Cora, as you're showing up the bow, to everyone's eyes, you'll see that the bow is now in a very dormant state. Like, you don't see any of the golden dragon scales you saw when Cornelia had it. You don't see any of the shine or the luster that it emanate from the bow. It looks like a normal golden, like a slightly gold colored wooden bow.
It appears he's gone down. He's gone to rest. I had a mind of trying to speak with the spirit within once everything was settled.
I recall you all saying something about it being enchained.
Yes,
I do not like that,
neither do I.
but I was also hoping that perhaps this bow had some sort of secret etched onto it, like I thought. Can you show me Cornelia's body?
Yeah. I gestured back towards the door where she's like just dropped carelessly on the ground.
Okay.
The big gash through her chest.
Larry, I'm assuming you're going along, or?
I think she's still just sitting next to Maze and Mita.
Okay. So,
Yeah, I dragged her body into the room, so she would have been just right here.
we'll bring it over here.
Oh, just kidding.
As you approach Cornelia's body, you see that it doesn't look like Cornelia. The blue skin tiefling is not there. You see what looks to be a almost gray skin colored humanoid with pure black lifeless eyes and black hair, and that's kind of short and cuts off like above the neck. And you see that their fingers, some of it seems to be, on one hand it seems that she's only have like 3 fingers, and on the other hand is a full set of 5 fingers, like 5 fingers including a thumb.
Akor, are you sure this is Cornelia?
Yep, she like vaporized into that thing when I killed her.
And out of character, you took everything off of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a crap ton of money, so I'll be divvying that out once everything's settled.
Okay. I think kind of examining her, I think there's just like this look of immense disgust on his face, or Abel's face. And I think he's going to take out his hand axe, and like hold it over her neck for a moment, and say, "You disappoint me," and I'm going to slash her neck off, or slash her head off.
Hell yeah, dude.
All right. I'll say just see how long it would take. Go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Okay.
Just hacking at her neck.
Wow.
Oh my god!
What are these ones today?
What is this?
We're just saying Abel has some anger to take out on her.
Can I?
Yeah,
Can I
it's-
just like do like a random roll of a d20 just to? Okay. I
So-
feel very attacked.
So the first swing didn't fully go through. The second swing, not that much deeper. Third swing. Fourth swing, fifth swing, sixth swing, seventh swing.
We just hear this sickening squelch, it just slowly comes off.
Abel, you got a lot of emotion in you that you're kind of bottling up, so this is kind of a good release right now. Very therapeutic as you're just hacking away at Cornelia's head, just hacking away at her neck, and takes a very long while. So during that time, Cora and Laurie, as Abel's going through some shit, what are y'all doing?
I'm just trying to think of what next we should do, or our next step should be. Because I need to also, because I have the ring of Icarus still too, so I might just put that on a chain around my neck and keep it for safety. Or, I'll have to consult Valerian on that. Or actually, I'll have to consult him anyway. But, Laura, I was like, we should probably get these two prepared for travel somehow, while listening to Abel decapitate the body.
Yes, I suppose we should.
Sorry.
Honestly.
With the clean, with the final clean slice, you chopped off her head.
Heavy breathing.
Just coated in blood.
Abel's panting.
Oh yeah, and Abel, you're no longer a woman.
Oh, yay. Oh, okay. Damn, I don't feel like a woman. Let's go, gays.
Perfect.
Okay, now that I'm done having a serial killer moment, I'm going to, okay, and you took her arrows too, right?
Yes.
Akora? Okay, okay. Okay.
I'll hand them
Sorry.
off to you if you want them.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll use them, but, like, I have some business to take care of first. Sorry, that was not intended to be so long.
By all means, it was quite entertaining to listen to. She deserved it.
Yes.
Let's get these two ready for...
I'm gonna try and pick up Maze, because I think I can carry Maze.
I was gonna carry Minta, because I know she's a lot heavier.
I don't know, yeah, I don't know if I can carry Minto.
Are you okay to walk, Laurie?
I'll be fine.
Oh well, speaking of, excuse me. Speaking of which, Laurie, you are fully back to full health. and you don't feel any of the scars or the charred marks, but you do feel very exhausted. Like it takes a lot coming back from the dead. So for the next few days, you have a -4 penalty to all attack rolls, saving throws, and ability check. And every time you finish a long rest, the penalty is reduced by 1 until it disappears.
Alright, sick.
So keep that in mind. So yeah,
-4 penalty to life.
so it takes a lot coming back from the dead. So I'm assuming y'all understand.
Yeah.
So Larry, as you like stand up and begin moving around, you are aching. Like it's exhausting right now. But y'all are good to go. And Abel and Cora, thank God y'all said this instead of that way. So I'll say based on who's carrying who and basically y'all's strength score, I'll say y'all don't have to roll. It's y'all are able to pick them up comfortably.
Carrying the princess style.
Yeah, I am carrying Maze, but I am trying not to look at Maze.
Probably put like an altar cloth over their faces or something.
Okay.
No, is Minta has the wolf mask thing on her head?
Yeah, but
That helped.
it's
Yeah,
very.
I'm just gonna pull the wolf head part of it over her face.
Okay. So, as the group packs up and gets ready to leave, I'll say, Laurie, you're able to pick this up due to your high perception, and actually Abel is also. Y'all two pick this up due to y'all's high perception, and y'all see where the charred remains of Eric, the human suicide bomber that turned out to be some kind of mechanical humanoid. Y'all do see that there's something in their body. Like their body has completely opened up, and you see something what looks to be like a handle of a weapon in their body.
Is it Scrappy Doo? Kill it.
I'm gonna go over and look at it.
As you look at it, you see that this handle, it looks to be a great axe. But you see it's very, very worn down, like very damaged. Like the blade is chipped in so many places. Like the handle seems to be cracked along the edge. It looks very, very beat up. And y'all can sense, all three of you can actually sense this now, that it's very, very weak. But Laurie, as you're holding it, you can sense that there is a very, very weak dragon spirit in this weapon.
What?
Yeah.
Should probably take that with us then too. Jeez.
Yes, we probably should.
Okay.
And I'll just, I guess, pull it out of the body.
You pull out body, and as you're pulling out, you notice that there seems to be strange-looking cables that seem to be attached to the weapon. And as you pull out, the cables like kind of stretch out before snapping off on the item, and it feels like you're not 100% sure about it, but it feels like someone just took a breath for like the very first time, but you don't know where the voice came from.
Sam, if that's what I'm thinking is just occurring, that's completely fucked up. I approve of this immensely.
No idea what you're talking about. Anyway, so y'all heading out?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, when we get to the door, I'm just gonna like kind of pause and let out a deep breath and cast Pass Without Trace on us, and kind of say, "Let us move quickly. This is their base, after all."
Okay, so all of y'all are going to move through the base stealthily?
Yeah, I think.
As softly as we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Then all three of y'all roll me a stealth check.
Is it with advantage or just regular?
Regular stealth check, but with able, you add 10 to whatever you rolled.
God
I
damn it.
had
Yeah, Alright, you add 6.
a
Wow.
So 16 for Laurie, 14 for Core, and 26 for Abel. As y'all move through the base, trying to be as stealthy as y'all can, y'all do manage to quietly go through the hallway, just trying to make your way down the stairs and going onto the first floor of the base. And one thing I've noticed, it's very, very quiet. Like, eerily quiet in the base.
I don't like that.
And
Oops.
as y'all continue through the base,
I can stop clicking on the button. There you go.
as y'all continue through the base and making y'all's way to the entrance, I'll say y'all heading straight to the entrance.
Yes.
Okay. Y'all stealth your way, just checking around every corner, making sure everything's
Where's the
fine.
entrance?
Be over there. As y'all make it.
I am stuck on a wall. I don't know where I'm stuck, but I don't see anything.
He glitched.
How do you do that? Oh, either way, y'all head out the entrance and head out into the small cave cavernous entrance to the base, and head up onto the top side of the building, and y'all make it all the way out as y'all reach topside at the slums. And as soon as y'all reach the top and reach the abandoned house, Abel and Laurie, y'all quickly hear a large commotion coming from outside. It sounds like battle.
We're not outside of the house just yet, right?
No, y'all are inside the abandoned house. Y'all haven't moved
Okay.
from there.
Are there windows anywhere?
Yeah, there are some broken windows that are open.
Okay. I'm gonna like try and move with Maze, but like stealthily try and look through a window, see what's up.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oof.
Alright. As you look out through the window, it's not hard to notice what all the commotion is about. You're seeing what looks to be a huge war is going on outside. It looks like a gang war that is filled with it looks like people, like warriors who are wearing this small golden cloak that goes over their shoulder, are battling against familiar figures that y'all fought before, the Blood Hunters. And you also see a third faction is in there, looking to be just the standard town guards that are trying to get everything under control, but it looks like a gang war has broken out throughout the outside area.
Didn't she say she was gonna sick her little minions on the hunters?
Yes, she
She
did.
did.
We should probably make use this as the opportunity to get the fuck out of here and get to the temple.
Perhaps
Yeah.
a backdoor exit would be more beneficial.
Yes, I was not suggesting we go out in public like that.
Yes, I definitely don't want to get caught up in whatever this is.
Cannot let you get killed again.
No.
I'm gonna look for a backdoor.
Okay.
Likewise.
Okay, then I'll say for y'all to roll me a investigation check to see, scouting through that house, see if you can find a back door.
Damn it.
Okay, Akora, it's a little hard for you to find it while you're being distracted by the sound of battle that's coming outside, because you're very worried for your companions. One who's near death, and one who just came back to life but still looks a bit exhausted. You're kind of worried for them, so you're a bit distracted. Abel, it takes you a bit, but you do manage to find a back door through the house of the abandoned house that you can get out from.
Okay, I'll kind of call out to Laurie and Akora and just say, I believe that this will work.
All right. Well,
Okay, so y'all gonna head out through the back?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll kind of go first.
Okay, then for this section, go ahead and roll me a stealth check once again. I'll roll for Akora.
Oh my god.
God damn. Pass without traits is still on, so Abel, it would be a 15. But, you know. Agora and Laurie. Agora is at 28 for stealth, and Laurie, you're at 25 for stealth. So, Abel, as you're walking outside, you're like just checking like left and right and trying to see if the coast is clear. And you see that there is some battle going on the back entrance, but you see that there is a gap that you can go through, and you're thinking like, okay, we got this, and you take a few steps, and you then see a broken barrel that was on the ground in front of you, and you fall and trip.
I'm back.
Is Maze okay?
Maze hit the ground.
Oh god, I'm sorry. I'm so
You
sorry.
dropped her!
Yup, you fall and face plant into like the muddy ground that is the slums, and quickly Akora and Laurie, Akora, you kind of adjust Minto real fast, and Laurie and Akora, y'all both grab Abel and to drag them back, drag both Abel and Maze back into the house before anybody knows.
Yeah, I would, as we get back into the house, I would like to like wipe the mud off of Maze's face and like pull a few of the feathers that are on her off as well to like be like, I'm sorry.
it happens.
This time, as y'all exit the back door, Abel, you kind of kick the barrel that you tripped over off to the side and begin weaving your way throughout the slums, trying to do your best to avoid the conflict. And as y'all are going through the streets, y'all realize that the slums is in chaos. There is so much fighting going on, and so many guards are fighting as well and moving along, and you see guards are looking at what seems to be normal people, and they have their weapons drawn on them, and you see one that looks to be more of a that seems to be different from the other guards. Has like a red cape, has a red like mini cape over their shoulder, and he's yelling out orders to the other guards, and you can hear them go, check them, make sure they're not with the others. And then you can hear more voices going on, and you hear some of the people that are being held at weapon point going like, we didn't do anything, we're not a part of this. And you hear more fighting just echoing through the slums, and you're seeing people are getting pinned to the ground, and you're seeing people are getting like binded up, and you're seeing kids are running everywhere like they're fleeing with guards chasing after them, and it's just utter chaos in the slums.
We need to go. We need to get out of here. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I'm following.
As y'all
Yeah.
If anybody asks us, they hurt our friends. We're rushing to the temple.
as y'all
Yes.
keep on heading as fast as your feet can take y'all, carrying the two unconscious members of your party. You know, keep running as fast as you can, and you're weaving through this horde of battles and chaos and guards and people just running all over the place. And at one point, you see a little kid, like barely 6 years old, like a little boy, seem to just be cowering in a broken box. Like, that's just about his, that's just smaller or big enough for him to, like, just fetal position, like, looking out. And you see he is terrified, and he's just scared out of his mind as more fighting just erupts around him. And you're seeing you're even seeing kids are getting involved in fighting. You're seeing some kids barely like 12 years old are pulling out small daggers, and they're trying to defend themselves. And you're seeing just more and more chaos breaking out. And you soon see a line of people that are being watched over by a bunch of guards, like town guards, and you're seeing that they're trying to get out of the slums, but they're being stopped by a large wall of guards who seem to be checking them, patting them down, ripping away their satchels and looking through their bags, and just taking away any kind of weaponry that's on them before letting them go. And from the looks of it, it looks like y'all are gonna have to go through them to get out of the slums.
Oh, this is not good.
Y'all can try to stealth by them, but that's up to y'all.
I can't sell for shit, but we need to try.
Yeah.
I feel like us having these two with us might give them a bit more pause. Fingers crossed. Let's try and sneak by, and if we get caught, we just use... you know what we have to do.
Okay, so y'all are gonna be sneaking across. Then I will go ahead and ask for another stealth check. Remember, it's still with pass without a trace.
So...
Damn! Okay.
So... 22?
22 and 33. Okay. So, as y'all are able, you're kind of just looking around, and you're making sure the other two are keeping up as you're kind of leading them through, and you see a small gap in the wall of guards, and you see that they you kind of see that that's the only way you can get by them without them noticing. And as luck would have it, you're seeing that the guards get distracted by somebody else who is trying to get by them. And you see the guards go, "Hey, you, wait!" and begins running after him. And you take that moment to lead your group through the wall of people, safely making it to the other side.
Oh, thank the gods.
Okay.
So,
Thank you, Ranger.
so y'all are out of the slums, and y'all behind on the other side of the guards. But even then, even though you are now in the trades district, you're still seeing more guards are rushing by you to get to the slums, and you're seeing people are getting escorted away. Like they're people are getting. You're hearing guards saying, "Please return to your homes. Please return to your stores. It's for everybody's safety. The city is going on lockdown. I repeat, the city is going on lockdown." And you're seeing more guards are shouting this as people are frantically just running back to their houses.
Do either of you know which way was it? Do either of
Uh-huh.
you know which way the temples were? Shut up, Sam.
Did we know? Because I don't remember, but I don't know if Laurie knew.
I'll say y'all only went to. Y'all did go to the trades, and y'all did go. The trades had the Lucky Rabbit, the tavern y'all stayed at. So I'll say y'all have a loose idea where it is, but it's not that hard to miss.
I believe the tavern owner with Ryan and Lily mentioned the temple being near the Lucky Rabbit. It's
Shouldn't be too hard to miss, right?
though if we are going on lockdown, we do not have a place to stay. And then he kind of like looks at Maze. Before we left, Maze talked to Cornelia's mother, saying things, and if I bring in the Maze now,
I do not feel comfortable going to see that woman right now.
yes, perhaps the temple is our best course of action, but I also fear for the children.
Yes, me too.
Let us help our friends first.
I
Their time is
agree.
of essence. I'm pretty sure the kids can handle themselves, and if not, we will come back for them.
Okay, so y'all retrace your steps and head over to the Lucky Rabbit. And as you're going towards the tavern area, you do see a large building, kind of a block or two away from the Lucky Rabbit, and you see that many people are starting to go there. Like they're rushing over in that direction, and Laurie, although you're not used to the city, or at least the Empire's city, you do know that many temples in the Empire, especially with religious value, they do tend to be very amongst the largest buildings in cities. So you can kind of make an educated guess that that's most likely the temple. So y'all head over to the temple area and begin rushing over there. And you see, as you're walking down the cobblestone pathway, y'all can't help but notice that there seems to be a commotion, like a little bit further ahead, like a crowd is forming, and you can hear some irritation going on as you hear some people yelling, going, "Get it out of the way! You're blocking the road! Get it out of here! Get that stupid goat out of here!" And as y'all looking through the crowd, y'all trying to find your way past the crowd, and there you see what seems to be the center of the attention, like the cause of this commotion, and you see what looks to be 3 small goats next to a giant black colored goat. And you see that there is somebody riding on top of the giant goat that's also very, very large. Steph, do you mind describing what your character looks like?
What?
I've been waiting for this.
So, my character, she's a fur blog, so she's a half giant, so she's 7 feet tall, and I just picture her with this like big mass of like brown curly hair. She's got those like floppy fur cover. Her whole body has this light dusting of like a nice brown fur. She's got brown eyes, and yeah.
If I give a furball, oh my god. That is holy shit.
You see this furbog giant of a woman riding on top of a goat who is looking around and then kind of looks up and I'll say Steph, as said, you have a high passive perception. So I'll say since the party isn't really stealthing at this point, they're just heading to the temple. You do manage to point out who you're looking for, and she seems to be in a rush.
Smack my goat on the butt.
The goat just and it just
Let's go, Lenny!
and just click clops onto the stone pathway as the other 3 goats just follow behind the giant one, heading directly to the party. And y'all see this giant black colored goat just like staring. Like this goat is as big as as big as y'all's war horses that y'all have. And you see the goat just like staring like forward and staring at the group, and you just hear "Murr."
Sorry, I'm not sure what it says. What did it say again?
"Murr."
Okay, I got it now.
I'm here to help.
Meh.
I'm so excited.
Those are coming from the smaller goats.
Yeah.
Yodel. Akora is speechless for one thing.
I think we're all speaking.
Abel is wondering if this goat came up to give them a ride, but is not wanting to say that. Can
Excuse me.
we help you?
We're gonna be
Howdy
rushed.
there. My name is Chundel, and I do believe I found the person I've been searching for. Is your name Laurie by any chance?
Yes. Do I know you?
Oh my god. I can't believe this. I can't believe I found you. And then I hug Laurie. I give Laurie a really big hug.
You jump off the goat and you grab Laurie into a big hug.
Big hug.
I finish my hug. I hold her by her shoulders and hold her away from me, and I go, I have been looking for you for so long. How are you?
Not great at the moment.
I look around and see what's happening.
Yeah, yes. And
Oh boy.
you do see Akora and Abel currently carrying some bodies on them.
Unconscious
What?
forms of we're on our way to the temple, miss.
Oh boy. Well, would you like some help?
Please.
Lenny, get over here.
The giant goat slowly walks over, then looks over, kind of like steps in front of Chundel, like kind of separating her from the group, like not really sure what to make of the group, and kind of just staring. Right now, just staring directly into Akora's eyes. As Akora, you're seeing their weird, like square-shaped pupils just staring back at you. And you see the goat just
Just slowly chewing on nothing. I have
Would
the
you like some
biggest
help
gut.
getting to the temple?
Please.
Lenny's really good at clearing the crowd.
It's also good at attracting them, it seems.
And you'll see three
That's-
smaller goats are following Lenny around.
That is the biggest goat I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, Lenny here? Yeah, I bred him myself for his superior size and just his. I stroke him down the back, just his beautiful athletic build.
Smell.
Anyway, were you guys in a hurry?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I'll just start chit-chatting with Laurie about why I was looking for her, which is because I heard her sister died and have a deep, like, weird childhood adoration for this woman who doesn't know who I am.
So what was Minta's surname?
Minta Chundi.
Chundi, and now you're Chundel.
Yeah, well, I have to. It's because of my friend that passed away, but everything will be somehow Chun. Yeah.
Wow, way to
Okay,
be
I love
insensitive.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I didn't know.
That's okay. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
That's actually a really wholesome way to do that. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Anyway, I'm gonna be sad now. Let's
No,
go to
don't
the
be sad.
temple.
Don't be sad. He's very good. It's funny.
So, with the giant goat now leading on the way, people are giving a clear, like, wide spacing for the party being led by a giant goat. And it doesn't take the group long until y'all manage to get to the temple. And you see that the temple is a large, like a large building with 3 huge towers that are connected near the base of them, making the building. Large glass windows and a large wooden door at the middle of the 3 towers. And you're seeing carvings amongst the stone building of various gods and goddesses symbols that seem to be etched in the wall. Although, Laurie, you're able to kind of notice that some, it's not all of the gods. There's almost no non-human specific gods and goddesses in on the wall. Like, it doesn't seem that they're being acknowledged in this temple. But you see more human specific gods like Tyr, the god of justice, or Helm, the god of guardians and protectors. Seeing more gods of like that, and you're seeing a few elven like pantheons in there. You're seeing yours, but you also see the carving of the Raven Queen, which is a humanoid mask framed in black feathers. However, you see that across the mask is a noticeable crack going across the symbol. And you're also noticing that the symbol of your goddess has a crack in it as well. And you're seeing the temple itself is in the center of a large clearing in the city with large stone steps leading up to the temple door and a fenced off wall surrounding the temple. And in front of the gates of the fences, you're seeing a huge crowd of people standing outside of the fence of the gate. And standing guard at the gate and at the temple doors, you're seeing what looks to be decked out paladin knights standing in front with full white plate armor covering their bodies with a large shield and a long sword in their hand. And you see that they're standing guard and trying just intimidating people not to like rush into the temple, and they're not allowing anybody into the temple.
Oh, great.
Of course.
We have to do something. Oh boy.
Well, might as well try.
So, going to the gate.
Yep.
Okay. As y'all head over to the gate, being led by a giant goat named Lenny. And you're seeing that as soon as you approach the gate, the 2 paladin guards are standing up front. They immediately block your way, and you hear one of them go in a feminine voice, go, "State your business."
We have two gravely injured friends that they need assistance.
They're dead.
Well, yes, that too. We were hoping we need help. We don't have much time for them.
How long have they been dead?
Very recent.
Do you have the coinage to require our service?
How much is it?
You see one of the paladins looking over the kind of steps forward and looks over at Maze and then looks over at Menta. For these types of restoration, it's gonna be about 5,000 gold pieces each.
Fine. We have it. It's fine.
Yes, we do.
Pay up front.
I'll currently have somebody in my arms.
So you figure the paladin does not really respond to it, just still staring.
I will gently set Mince's body down and then get the pouches full of at least. I'll get the pouch with like 10,000 gold pieces in there and just hold it over to them.
As you hand it over, you see the paladin snatches out of your hand, kind of like shakes it a little bit, then opens it up and looks in. And you see ties it up and puts it by their hip, and you hear her go, "All right, go in, but just go." You see him. You see her step to the side, and you hear the crowd begins erupting in angry shout, going, "Why are they being let in? What the fuck is going on? Why are we being let in?"
Dad, fuck you.
You're like, "My kid is sick. Fuck you!" And just
That takes priority. Pick Minta back up and run in.
okay. As y'all quickly motion yourself to get into the temple, y'all reach the temple doors and you see the 2 paladins are standing by. They immediately look at you and then look over near the fence gate, and you see one of the paladins at the fence gate gives a thumbs up, and the 2 paladins at the temple door nods and slowly push open the temple doors, showing a large central hall, and you're seeing many people in what looks to be very clean and neat robes, just running all over the place, and just frantically trying to. You see that they're frantically running from location to location, and you see that they're some are arguing with each other, some are freaking out, some are crying, and it looks like a mass panic is just festering in the temple. And inside the temple, you're also noticing that there seems to be a couple more individuals that are currently just trying to work their way through, and you're seeing many soldiers in different kinds of armor just running around, and you're seeing a person that is looks to be a I always mispronounce how the race is spelled, so I apologize. It's Arakorka. Arakorka? Is that it?
Aarakocra.
Arakorka. There we go. That seems to be talking
Bird
to
person.
bird person. That seems to be talking to one of the clerics. Well, we say talk, but you see that the talk is kind of going in a circle, and you see you hear the one of the clerics and go, "And I'm telling you, we cannot heal anybody right now because we have lost our connection right now. So you can take whatever orphan kid that you find and get them out of here." And the person that they're talking to, Echoes. Do you mind describing what the character looks like?
Okay, so he's probably about 6 foot tall. He's covered in so his facial the bird heritage is more like an eagle. And his feathers are all white except on his face a little bit, and on the edge of his wings they start to come to like a darkish brown. He's kind of wearing like a white and very light color gold, like not super bright, laced robe that's almost like a monk robe, and he's wielding a spear and a shield, both of which would be away. Yeah, that's what he looks like. Number. You said I was arguing with this guy about this kid.
Yeah, you found a kid that was badly injured that came out of the slums and looks to be on the verge of dying.
Maybe they've lost their connection.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
I'm like, good, you take care of that. We got our own business. And you see the cleric just runs off onto the distance, and you see a small boy, maybe like 5 years old, clutching their arm. Like lots of blood is like coming out of the arm from a huge gash along it.
Well, that's not good.
I'll expend 5 points in my lay on hands pool.
Okay.
Paladin.
So you reach down and place your claw on their shoulder and patch them up, and you hear the kid just lets out a sigh, and you hear him go, "Thank you, mister."
Not a problem. Just be more careful, yeah?
"Yes, mister." And you see the kid quickly gets up and takes off, obviously scared about the whole situation. And you turn around and you see the party walking in with 2 seems to be unconscious bodies, and lots of clerics are just kind of like running around them, not really paying them much attention.
Step forward. What's wrong? Can I help?
Can you raise the dead to bring them back? Sorry, I'm eating something.
That's a bit out of my forte, unfortunately.
Do you know someone who can?
Someone here, maybe, but apparently they've lost the connection. They can't do anything.
Are you fucking kidding me?
As the panic keeps going all around you, and the clerics are just seem to. Some arguments are going around in circles, and many people. There's still people panicking here and there. You then hear a loud voice that echoes through the temple walls, and you hear like a low voice that goes, "Silence!" And everyone goes dead quiet. And they look over, and you see on a raised pedestal behind it, what looks to be a wooden pedestal with a very, very large, like, leather covered book. You see a very older gentleman in pure white robes with golden sashes across his neck and going down, and you see what looks to be the emblem of the god Tyr hanging around his neck, and he is holding a scepter in his right hand, and you hear him like banging the scepter across on the ground, and the scepter is like taller than him, as he's standing about 6 feet tall, and the scepter is made out of pure gold, and it has what looks to be a lion's head at the top. And you see all the figures are looking over to this older gentleman, and you hear him go, "We are in the house of the gods and goddess. We shamed them by this fiasco. I will not stand for this. We will maintain order, for that is why we are blessed to be here. Now, all of you, stop arguing, stop crying. We have people to save. Now, organize yourselves. What happened?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just sit the whole room in the
Jesus.
background. Oh my god.
I'm so sorry.
You really want us to know that you're a hermit.
No.
We couldn't tell.
You
icon is so pretty.
You see the figure kind of just slams the scepter down onto the wooden platform and makes it echo through the hall, and you hear him go, "We will get the connection back. But right now, we need to prioritize who needs what. For the people who need some resurrection, go to the third tower," and you see him point to the right. For people who need healing, go to the first tower. For people who need prayers, stay in this tower. Now, disperse! And with the echo of his voice, all the clerics immediately just disperse and quickly organize themselves. And you see the older figure kind of just leans back and lets out a sigh, just... You can see him slowly begin to step off the platform, very carefully, and looks over at the group and begins walking over to the group. And you see him go, "Blessed be upon you. What is your purpose here?"
We seek resurrections. Our friends were killed very recently.
That might be a little difficult, but we'll see what we can do. Please, this way. And you see the older gentleman looks over the party, and then looks at you, Sid, and kind of looks you over, and gives a kind of a bow, like kind of a little bow to you, and goes, "Blessed be upon you, Paladin. It is good to see someone of the order in here."
It's I can't lie. Feels a bit weird to be here. Eh? Things are crazy.
That is true. Please.
But-
go ahead.
Let me know if you need help. I'll do what I can.
I might have to take you up on that offer right away. Please, come this way. And motions for you to follow. Then kind of turns his attention to you, Laurie. And looks over at you. And also gives a little bit of a deeper bow to you. And go, "I hope the Moon Mother is in good health."
Thank you.
I don't mean to, what's the word, get too personal with somebody I just met, especially someone of your status. And please let me know if I'm overstepping my boundaries, but have you been in contact with her?
Yes. Today, earlier, I think. Time is foggy for me right now. Forgive me, I died.
Oh, wait, you died and were you resurrected?
Yes,
was.
it was strange.
How, you need to come with us right away. And you see, he quickly motions for you to follow along, and looks at the rest of the party and, "Please, this way, and then turns to the goats that walked in. And you go like,
There was
They're
bigger
clean.
uh, All I ask is, if they make a mess, can you please clean up?
They will not. And I look at my goats and I tell them, no pooping on the floor.
You see one of the goats was already reaching for a carpet and just slowly bites down on the carpet. And you hear the loud, like, chops and just...
No, I smack it with my staff, and I said, no.
Meh, and just runs over to Lenny. And you hear Lenny just looks at the smaller goat and you hear brrr. And then begins to follow. You see the older gentleman just goes, well, I've seen stranger. Please, this way. And
Yeah.
begins to escort the group to the third tower. And heading into the third tower, you're seeing that in the center of this third tower that there is a raised, it looks to be a raised altar that's surrounded by what looks to be
What's that for?
torches just surrounding the altar, and what looks to be clerics on raised platform along the walls, and they seem to be frantically like looking through pages upon pages of books and just flipping through, as some are talking to each other, not more in a calm manner, and just kind of a little more, a tiny bit stressed conversation, just going back and forth. And you see directly above the altar that's in the center, you see what looks to be a white humanoid face with raven's feather along the edges, and you see a large crack across, like right down the middle, and
Can't be good.
you see the older man stepping towards the altar and goes, this happened yesterday without warning, and we don't know what's happened, but we can do our best here. And you see he looks over at Menta and Maze, and you see him, he's like kind of strokes his chin a little bit before going, the Shadar and Kai, maybe we can do it with her. Please place her at the altar.
Gestures to Abel.
Yeah, I place her there.
Okay. So, maybe you place Maze on the altar, and you see the older man walks up and looks over at Maze's body and goes, by all the gods, what happened? It looks like she was, they were cooked alive by fire.
In a matter of speaking,
Oh.
we were attacked in the battle outside. Our friends took our casualties.
Oh, y'all came from the slums?
No, we were passing through.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, here. And you see him look over to a nearby acolyte that's dressed in simple white robes. You see him like snap his finger, and the acolyte just jumps up a little bit before running over to the older gentleman, and you hear him go, please get something to cover her. She's a bit indecent. And you see the acolyte nods and goes, yes, father, right away, and runs off. And then you see the older gentleman pulls out what looks to be a handkerchief and begins dabbing his forehead, like trying to get rid of the sweat that's rolling down, and turns to the group and goes, I believe the Shadar and Kai woman might have more of a chance with her connection with the Raven Queen. Yesterday, out of nowhere, many of our priests and priestesses of the Raven Queen suddenly, well, a lot of them went mad, to put it lightly.
Matt.
A lot of our priests and priestesses, they bind their selves to their respective gods and goddesses. The priests and priestesses of the Raven Queen, they claim that their connection was forcibly cut, like yanked away from them, and mentally, I mean, if you go decades upon decades being bound to a god or goddess, you would know their presence always in their lives. So with suddenly the emptiness of a god being taken away from your life, it can do some psychological damage to them. They're currently being treated as we speak, as best as we can. I believe the only way we can get this connection back, get them help, is to get the connection back.
If I may, I believe that Maze kind of points at Maze. Before that happened to her, she brought up many things, and if anyone is going to be able to figure out why this connection has been lost, I believe it is her.
Right, okay. Well, we will try our best. Let's see if we can get her back. I'm so sorry to ask this, but did you pay? I'm assuming you did since you're in here.
Yeah.
We did, yes.
Okay, good. I won't get any lip from the city lord then about doing this. And you see, the acolyte then comes back and with a large blanket, and place it over Maze's body, and just making sure that it's as comfortable as it can be with Maze. And you see the older gentleman just nods their head and like, okay, good. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Father Imperium. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Okay, let's see if we can get her back. And you see that the Father Imperium pulls out what looks to be a large, like a good fist-sized diamond, and places it on top of Maze, and goes, okay, this is gonna take a little bit of time. This is gonna take about an hour to cast, and we're not 100% sure if this will even work. But please bear with us. You, and points over at Akora. You can set your friend down over there, and points over to a nearby bed that's kind of set to the side. And like, please lay her to rest over there.
I would do so.
Okay, thank you. And you see, Father Imperium begins motioning his hands around in circles. Soon, all the torches ignite that are around the altar, ignite with flames. And you see, as the spell is getting cast, you see now all the clerics are turning their attention to the spell. Like, they're all looking at the center of the temple, looking at the center of the altar, and looking at Father Imperium begin casting. And you hear him giving a silent prayer as he's casting the spell. And you hear him at the beginning goes, he turns his head slightly towards the grouping and go, I'm sorry to ask this, but what was her name?
Maze.
Maze. Okay, thank you. And you see him turn his attention back to Maze and go, I beg you, Tyr, I beg you, Matron of Ravens, I beg all the gods and goddesses that can hear me, please, bring back Maze. It is not her time here. It's not her time yet. Please guide her soul back to us. And let her be blessed with the permission of the Matron of Ravens herself. Please. And you see the spell gets ignited. Like they flash. The altar begins flashing yellow. And you see Maze's body begins to rise a little bit as the diamond begins to melt and coats her body. And you see Father Imperium nods his head and goes, okay. And keeps focusing on the spell. And soon the glowing light shines brighter and brighter and brighter until you see that the light begins flickering out. And you see Father Imperium goes, oh no. And you see he turns his attention up. And you see that the carving of the Raven Queen up ahead, you see another crack begins to form.
Oh no.
And then another crack. And you see rocks are starting to tumble down from the top of this tower, tumble down to the ground. And you see clerics and acolytes are quickly running over to Father Imperium and begin to cast spells to kind of catch the falling debris and move them to the side safely. And you see that the spell begins flickering out before a pulse of magical energy pushes Father Imperium off of the altar, like at the raised platform, and onto his back. And many of the acolytes and clerics around fall to the ground as well. And Mace's body falls down onto the altar. And you see Father Imperium like sweating profusely, just sweating bullets, sits up and looks over to Mace's body, but Mace is not moving. And you see him stand up and goes, my other gods. I was hoping her connection with the Raven Queen would help a little bit more. Okay. And you see him kind of walk over to the altar, then looks up at the cracked emblem of the Raven Queen, and you hear him go, Raven Queen, where have you gone? He then turns his attention back towards the group and looks at y'all with very sad eyes and bows his head and goes, I am sorry. At the moment, we aren't able to bring her back.
I fear as much. I don't think it'll be any different for Inta.
Oh, you, and points over to Laurie. Priestess of the Moon Mother. I'm sorry to bother you, but you said that you were revived.
Yes.
How were you revived? Who performed the spell?
I don't know. Some strange figure.
We were met by someone who had a white raven's mask and white feathers. I don't think it was this Raven Queen.
You see Father Imperium's eyes go wide at the mention of a white raven mask, and you see him kind of touch his own face a little and goes, you said a white raven's mask?
Yes.
Was it made of porcelain?
Yes.
Oh,
They they had a very strange voice as they spoke. But I do not think it was a goddess.
no, those are far from the goddess herself. Um, as I'm understood, forgive me for not knowing much about the Raven Queen herself, but as I understood, individuals who more or less betray or anger the Raven Queen herself, which is not many people, that were once in her service, they get cursed to be those things.
Oh no.
But still, they shouldn't be able to bring somebody back. Not with everything the way they are right now. Oh boy.
They used a diamond with a scroll of resurrection. But I'm not sure how they were able to bring her back.
Even with the scroll of resurrection, it wouldn't work. Cleric of the Moon Mother, do you mind if I look you over?
If you think it'll be helpful, by all means.
Thank you. And you see he kind of strolls over to you and pulls down his white hood, showing his like gray, long gray hair that's tied up in a ponytail in the back, and you see like a very wrinkled face on his face. You see that he is human and like very old in his age, and he looks over at you, like kind of looks you over, and kind of he's like begins to reach over, but then pulls his hand away and looks at you and goes, Priestess of the Moon, Mother, may I touch you?
Sure.
Thank you. And kind of raises your arm and begins kind of feeling you over on your arms and kind of just looking you over, like more out of curiosity, just studying you, and then comes upon your hand that's still mutated. It still has the bug carapace on the back of your palms with bug-like hands and claws, and he kind of stops there and looks at it and goes, then looks over at you and Laurie and goes, is this?
It's unrelated.
Are you sure? This seems more like a curse.
She's fine.
It's fine.
Oh, okay. Are you sure this could be related on how you?
I promise you, it's not contagious. We've been with her as long as we know.
Abel has turned away so that he's not facing them.
Right. Okay, and you see after he saw that, he kind of like takes a step away from Laurie, and he kind of strokes his chin a little bit and goes, "You don't seem any different from any of the other people here. Well, I mean, besides that, here, let me check something." And you see he kind of sets his golden staff like straight and then lets go, and you see the staff is just perfectly like standing up on its own, not moving at all. And you see he looks over at you, Laurie, and goes, do you mind if I look through your memories? I promise not to touch anything in the past hour, I would say. Was that when you got resurrected?
Yes, I believe so. And Do whatever you feel you have to.
Okay. Thank you, priestess. And slowly puts his fingers on the side of your head, and then closes his eyes, and you hear him. Begin to speak a arcane word, and you see ruin like it looks to be arcane ruins begin going up the sleeve of his arms, going up to his hands, and you see his eyes glow blue for a moment as Laura, you feel the presence of Father Imperium just enters your mind, and you even though you're expecting him, it still feels weird. It feels like a just an unknown spirit has just walks right into your head, and immediately you hear a loud hiss and a sound of growling and snapping mandibles, and you hear Father Imperium go, "What is this? You aren't alone in here. Wait, what is grabbing me? Something's touching me. This can't be possible.
Just
What is?" And then you suddenly you hear the old man just it like breathes in an air and immediately yanks his fingers away and kind of looks at you, Laurie, with like big wide eyes, and you see him kind of like stumble back a little bit, and at the sight of Father Imperium take a step back, y'all immediately notice seeming coming out of the walls. You're seeing what looks to be black cloaked figures coming out of the walls and holding 2 daggers and just staring at the group. It's about 8 figures in total. Like they're making eye contact with everyone in the group. And then Father Imperium just goes, "What was that?"
that's just Steve.
He's harmless, really.
He's very protective of her.
Yes. He can be a little, socially awkward when he's meeting new people, but he means no harm.
And you see he kind of raises up his fingers, and you see underneath his fingernails, blood is coming out.
He's scared of new people. I am sorry that he hurt you. He's just, ever since Laurie passed, he's been very on edge that it might happen again, so he's just very protective of her.
It is understandable, I guess. But for obvious reasons, I'm not gonna do that again.
That might be for the best.
Okay, well, I didn't get to see much, but blessed be the gods. We need answers. And you see he turns around and then looks at all the black cloaked figures who stepped out of the wall, and you see him. He raises his hand and kind of just flicks his hand to the side, and the figures, and then kind of morphs back into the wall. And you see Father Imperium takes out his handkerchief and begins dabbing his forehead, and goes, "Okay, I can't tell why you are different and why you were able to come back, but there's only one other way I can think of restoring the temples, but it's a long journey." And turns around towards you, towards the group, and goes, "Well, are y'all currently on a quest of some sort?"
I completed my quest.
"Oh, very good, child. That's
It
Our
is nothing that cannot wait for the life of our friends.
yes, they're involved in it as well. It's important that they're here.
Okay, of course, of course. Well, the only thing I can think of, and at that moment, you hear him kind of freeze, like he kind of stiffens up, and then looks around, and soon all of the black cloak figures immediately kind of step out of the walls and pulls up their daggers, and you see that they're looking around, like they're trying to locate something. And then you see what looks to be a black crow seem to somehow fly in into the tower. And you see him, all the black cloak figures look up at the crow, and they're looking at them. They're getting their daggers ready to throw it. And you see the crow flies in circles, and the crow looks at the group, mainly looking at Laurie and Abel. And then you see the crow seems to kind of form into themselves and emerge as they land to the ground. You're seeing a white-skinned elf with pointed ears and white hair and a black, what looks to be a kimono type garb with black or red roses sketched in and red crows on her shoulder. And you see she kind of stands tall, not on her bare feet, and kind of looks at the two, at Laurie and Abel, then looks at Maze and Minta, and kind of tilts her head, and you hear her go, "So, I see y'all's journey took quite a bit of a turn.
Right.
Well,
Yes. I suppose you could call it that.
Well, I was only sent out to see what was taking the group, or checking your status on your first mission. And oh boy, this is a mess.
Is it Rose?
The figure standing there is not Rose.
Oh, okay.
The figure standing there is Marie, one of Rose's companions that traveled with y'all.
I remember.
And you see she kind of turns over to Maze and looks Maze's body, and kind of looks her up and down, still kind of underneath the blanket. And you see she kind of shakes her head and goes, "I really preferred if y'all didn't get the temples involved." And you see Father Imperium kind of looks over at the white-skinned woman, then looks back at you, Laurie, and goes, "Is she with y'all?"
No.
No, not at the moment.
If she's not with y'all, then, and you see he turns to Marie and looks at her and goes, "I am sorry to say this, but you will need to leave." And Marie turns around, gives a small smile, and goes, "By all respects, Father Imperium, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you in the temples of the gods, but I am here for the group. And it wounds me that they say I'm not with them, but I guess technicality is the thing. But
You are not with us.
Abel, you wound me.
I do not care about your feelings and what your preferences are. My friends are in danger, were in danger, and I am doing what I must to save them.
Abel, I may not look it, because I'm good at, I guess, not letting things bother me. So I understand that that makes me come across as an asshole. So, Abel, believe me if you want when I say this, but you see, she puts her hand over her chest and gives a slight bow to you, Abel, and goes, I am sorry for your loss. And I will make sure that the Black Empress can do what she can to bring them back.
He will just kinda looks her up and down and shakes his head, and kinda goes over to where Maze is laying and just kinda sits down on the ground beside her, shaking his head a little bit.
You see, Marie kind of turns her attention away from you, Abel, after giving you a kind of a sad smile and a nod before turning to the group, and goes, "Well, I see you picked up a couple new people. It is a pleasure." And you then hear her get cut off by Father Imperium. Goes, "I am sorry about this, but could y'all take this conversation elsewhere? Because we are still in the middle of trying to figure things out." And you see Marie kind of looks over at Father Imperium, gives a nod, and goes, "Of course, Father. I don't mean to disrespect you, like I said." And looks at the group and goes, "Shall we go to outside and discuss more?"
What should we do with friends?
You can leave them here for now. The temple will take care of their bodies and make sure they're preserved for the moment.
Very well.
Please, let us go. And kind of, she begins walking, but then kind of looks over at you, Abel, and kind of motions for you to follow. And you hear her go, "Trust me, Abel. I think you will want to hear what I have to say."
I am staying here. I will not leave them.
Very well, Abel, if that is your decision. Then, are you fine with Laurie giving the final say-so of the Hands of Unity's group?
I'm not even a part of this, technically.
You are not.
Laurie, I trust that you will say what you must and do what you must. But remember, you are under no obligation to go with Marie at this moment.
You said you have something to say that's important.
Yes, I option to bring those two back.
Oh, well, I mean, of course, I'd do anything to get them back.
As would I. Now, please, follow. But, and you see, she kind of looks over at Akora, Sid, and Chundel, and looks over at the three of y'all, and goes, "This is more personal matters, so I wish to speak to Laurie alone."
That's fine.
Does Laurie want to be alone?
If she has a way to bring the others back, then
Akora, please watch over them. And he'll kind of like quickly, angrily get up and start headed towards an exit.
And I'll stay there and keep watch.
Okay. So, Laurie and Marie walk out of the temple with Abel outside, and then kind of looks around, making sure no one's listening in, and then looks at Abel and Laurie and goes, "I would like to say that I am sorry for your loss. We didn't think that this mission would lead to this right away. But with the connection that Menta and Maze have with the Black Empress, she will be able to bring them back."
how?
What if we do not want that?
You don't want that?
First, answer Laurie's question.
The Black Empress has tied herself to each and every one of us. So she has a connection with all of us. To be more, I guess you can say, transparent about her motives and her trust, I guess you can say. Because in each one of you, there's a bit of her power and influence, as I'm sure you two have noticed. The same power and influence are in Maze and Menta's body. The Black Empress will have to pull at that source to make a link. But this will take time.
Yay!
Random yay.
Yay!
Yay. It'll take time, yay.
I do not like any of this, Marie.
I can understand that. And you, Laurie?
I personally, if possible, think it would be best if this was done through the temple, but that is just my opinion. If it fails, then, I suppose that will be our only choice.
We will find another way.
I understand your decision, but I understand that means you don't trust the Black Empress.
Why do you say that?
The Black Empress is able to bring back your friends, able to give them more of a chance to come back to you. And yet you deny it. So I'm more curious why, when we have this option that you want to go through the temple's means, which they are currently in chaos right now.
It's not that I don't trust the Black Empress, it's that I do trust the temples. As a follower of the gods myself, it just seems strange to try to do something like this through other avenues.
And you, Abel?
My goals have changed, and I personally do not see myself fitting within the original agreement that we had. Had she come here herself, I would have told her the same thing. And she did promise that should we change our minds, we can do so. She would look the other way. And for the moment, my goal is different than what I agreed upon originally. So no, I do not wish her help.
Just so I'm clear, is that just your choice, Abel? Or is that your choice as well, Laurie?
As of now, I'm not sure.
Then for now, we will just say Abel wants to leave. I will pass the message along. Abel, it's been good knowing you. Expect a visit from the Empress herself. Oh, and one last thing. No matter where you go, if you do follow up on what the temple can do, see if you can fix this issue with their connections with the death gods and goddesses. Do y'all still plan on continuing the original mission? Once, if you get the two back.
When we get them back?
Yes, when?
Yes, I believe we do plan on completing that mission.
Yes, I said that I would, so I will.
Very well. Then, if that's the case, I'll leave you with this. And you see, Marie reaches in her kimono and opens up at the top and reaches in and then pulls out what looks to be a long black feather. And you can see that the black feather seems to be, it seems to emit some smoke trailing off of the feather. And you see she hands it over to the group, to you two, and go, think of this as a advancement on the Black Empress gift. Give this to Father Imperium. He should know what to do with this.
An advancement. What do you mean by that?
The Black Empress has many gifts to give her followers, and for people who deserve it. Abel, since you wish to leave, think of this as your reward for completing this mission.
Should you not be giving the award after the initial goal is completed?
And that is why we call this an advancement.
I do not agree to this.
And you, Laurie?
I'm
I
sure
love
I'll
Abel.
never get Abel. Not familiar with the kind of economics.
Oh yeah, so lost.
And you, Laurie? Is this your decision as well?
I don't know. I don't know what the future entails. I can't tell. For now, my decision remains the same as it's always been.
Very well. You see she puts the black feather back in her kimono. If that is your decision, a connection to the Raven Queen in physical form you have denied as a gift from the Black Empress herself. Since that is your choice, I will give the news to the Black Empress herself. And I'll leave it to her judgment on what we should do with the Hands of Unity. And you see she takes a step back and go, pity. A feather from the Raven Queen may have fixed all this. But we all live with our choices. Till next time we see each other, and let it be a more favorable light than a more serious matter. And she turns around and looks up,
Very important.
and
Jesus fuck.
then
I'm not mad.
Nope.
I know.
I love being roommates with you. I'm not mad. I think text is also, it's hard to like.
You then hear her go, till next time. And once again, my condolences. And you see she begins to shapeshift into a raven before taking off into the air.
Fuck.
And that's where we're going to end today's session.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
Sorry, guys.